Hello and welcome to another show of the Kam Johal Show, and tonight I'm joined by a very, very local guest, so she didn't have to come far. I'm going to share an incredible story of entrepreneurship at a very young age, which is something, as you all know, I favour very, very much. So control your own destiny, control your own income, and don't sell your time for money. So without further ado, my guest tonight is Nina Sandhu.
Hi Kam, how are you?
I'm very well, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so not far to walk, huh?
No, well, I'm actually closer to Wolverhampton, but I was actually born here in West Brom.
Okay, so what was your upbringing like, and what's West Brom like for a child?
I think very similar for everyone else, born and raised in the Midlands, so born right here, Sandwell, and then since I was about 6 years old, I was around these areas, and then from there I moved to a small town close to Wolverhampton. And very normal, like I guess most youngsters, went to school, worked hard, and from there went to university, and that's when I then started to venture out and develop a different mindset later on.
Sure. So siblings?
I have two younger sisters, so I am the oldest.
Right.
So I have there's three of us, and my parents as well. So my dad is actually from Birmingham originally, and my mom's from Warsaw.
Excellent. So really local, right?
Yeah, very local. And Midlands girl.
What was growing up like? You know, did you experience racism and challenges? And obviously, you know, everybody has those. Yeah. But was there anything that stood out for you that was spurred you on, or put you off in terms of our ethnicity?
I think I didn't ever notice it at a very young age. It was only maybe when I went to high school. Yeah. So I went to a school in Bloxwich, actually, and I was at the time the only Indian girl in the classroom. Right. So I'm not gonna lie, I experienced some there. Bit of bullying, racism, but I was always under the impression that I'm here to study, I need to work hard, and so I always saw the big picture. So I reported it and all that stuff, but I never got lost in it, and I just I worked hard, and then I didn't let it faze me too much. Okay. So it was okay. Yeah.
What was the family support and which we're renowned for? Yeah. And should be celebrated. Yeah. What was that like with did you go home and express these concerns to your parents, and what were their view?
Yeah, I think I tried to put up with it first, as you do, because I just thought, no, like I don't want to go out there and cause a nuisance and that kind of thing. But no, my parents were very supportive. In fact, my dad was ready to pull me out of the school. Okay. Because I went to an academy, actually. So I had to sit a test to get in. And I said, no, like, let me just finish it off, and maybe at sixth form I'll go somewhere different. But by then it calmed down, and that girl at the time, she'd left, so I was able to be in a happier kind of situation at school.
Okay, so relatively unscathed.
Yeah.
Did you know what you wanted to do, and how old were you when you kind of figured things out, thought, I want to do whatever it was? What was the first occupation that you can remember wanting to do?
So I remember I had a game plan. So I said to myself when I was in year 2. Okay. I was very young, but I always had this kind of forward planning. Like I was always been forward thinking. And I said, okay, I'm going to get this type of stats. Then I'm going to get, straight A stars at GCSE, and then A's in A level, and then straight into Cambridge studying medicine. So I always had big goals and dreams, and my parents were, very supportive of that too. Obviously it doesn't plan out the way you expect, but at the same time I think I've always been very ambitious from a young age too.
Okay, so wanted to go into medicine right
I
from
did,
the get-go?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So I ended up doing like sciences at A levels. I didn't get straight into medicine, but then I thought, okay, let me try through biomedical science. So I got my bachelor's in that, but then by the time I was in my final year, my mindset had changed. Right. So that's when I thought, okay, actually, no, let me explore something else. I'm kind of done with education. I don't want to go back into it. I want to go out there and work. Okay. So quite a road that you had set out for yourself, and your parents supported that. Yeah. So university happens, you get your degree.
So what are you thinking now, and why did you then decide to come out and not continue and pursue medicine in terms of becoming a doctor and the usual Indian kind of stuff?
Yeah, so the usual Indian stuff. I think it was a case where when I was down in university, so I was closer to London.
Where did you go?
So I was at Bedfordshire Uni.
Okay.
And then, but I used to venture into London quite a bit, and I was fortunate enough to meet some really good individuals who kind of mentored me over a short period of time. And they introduced me to books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I mean, they were old enough to be my parents as well.
Sure.
And said, actually, Nina, like, rather than just going to school and then trading your time for money, which is what everyone does, find ways that money can work for you.
Okay.
And I never really understood it at the time, but I thought, yeah, that sounds good. I'm going ahead and do that. So I got involved, with different other mentors, and they, again, books like Think and Grow Rich, and Law of Manifestation, and books like The Secret, which at first I thought was like a load of nonsense, as you do, and then actually I realised that there's some power behind this, there's some truth behind this.
So tell me, what drove that? Because most people, of that age, either coming out of university or going into university, and just like you've got a very determined attitude to what they want to do.
Yeah.
And I won't say it in a derogatory manner, but thinking's very limited.
Yeah.
In terms of they've got a limited career path, so almost blinkers on, especially to enterprise.
Yeah.
Because we're not very good at that in this country, especially at those kind of ages.
Yeah.
So what happened there? Because you were very, very determined to go into a particular field.
Yeah.
So when these books were given to you, you didn't reject them?
No, I think I've always been naturally open to at least listen and hear what people have to say. And I think someone actually explained it to me in the fact that, when we're young, if I go to my parents and my teachers and I say, teach me how to be successful, they will say the same thing. Go to school, work hard, get the right grades, go to the best uni, red brick uni, and then, from there find the best career, climb the career ladder, and that's how you become successful. But then when I researched, let's say, entrepreneurs, and I found out, most of these guys had dropped out of uni and didn't really have a degree and all sorts, and I just thought, okay, how on earth did they get there? And it really is your mindset and your goal plan, and then from there I realized, actually, okay, let's say I was Richard Branson's daughter, or Bill Gates's daughter, or Warren Buffett. What would these type of individuals teach me?
Yeah.
So when I started to realize, okay, it's about creating multiple streams of income, and rather than doing the same thing, just trading your time and just relying on one source of income, that really today isn't really security.
No.
And with the current climate, the way it is at the moment, I realize, okay, well, I need another safeguard, I need another backup, and real security is having multiple streams. So that's what I started to think about,
because it takes a while, doesn't it? That kind of thing really needs to ferment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Before you get your head around it, because it's very unusual, and it's only a minority of people think that way.
Yeah.
But you come out of uni.
Yeah.
So what did you do? You went into business and and became Rich Dad Poor Dad, or something else happened?
So it was actually in my final year at university, I actually stumbled into the industry of network marketing. Okay. So that's where I met various different individuals, and the people that I was around, the caliber of people, they kind of taught me a few different things, and that's when I started to think a bit differently. Okay. And I was in that company for around 2 years or so, and I thought, okay, now maybe this isn't for me. And I could see that, my mom, I'll be honest, wasn't particularly very happy. She's like, you've got a degree, go out and do something.
Okay, so you graduated at this point.
Yeah.
So explain something to me for our viewers. Network marketing is a term that you used. What is that?
So network marketing is an industry where you have a product or service, and instead of going to an advertising company or so forth, if you promote that company, you start to earn a residual or passive income stream from it. So very similar to people who are maybe working in sales and various things. You're just working for an income.
Okay.
Here you kind of work for commission and residuals.
So you're not employed?
No.
So the company decides that it's going to use people to distribute rather than the normal path of distribution?
Exactly.
Because I understand that the cost of goods, about 85% of them is the cost of actually distributing those products to get them to you.
Exactly.
So,
you look at, like, for example, a bottle of Coke.
Yeah.
I think it costs like 5p or 7p to make. And by the time it's on the shelf, it's, you know, £1 or £2 or something.
Yeah, and again, for our viewers, it doesn't arrive there on fresh air. It costs money to get it there.
Exactly.
Transportation, you know, documentation, and all those things. And only a small element of it is the retailer's profit at the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so network marketing, these companies don't use that distribution channel. They use people to shove those products down, right?
Yeah.
And they pay commissions at each level.
That's it.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. So that's explained that.
Yeah.
Okay, so please go on.
So I did that, and then from there I started to look at various other things. So I thought, okay, let's get into property. I remember seeing online, you can get into property for free, or, you know, buy a house for free. Right. And then I thought, oh, that sounds interesting.
Yes.
So I went through that, and then did a property course as well. Started looking at rent-to-rent and HMOs and all sorts, learning about different things. And then I also had my own idea. I thought, right, let me go out there and start my own company.
Okay.
Mainly in the wedding industry. But I didn't need a lot of manpower for that and a lot of capital behind me. And I thought, okay. But it was only then, a few years later, when I was about 26, a good friend of mine who I used to work with in London when I was in that previous network marketing company, he's actually, you know, solicitor and doing very well for himself. But because we've always been a bit open-minded and looking for ways to create income streams, different income streams, he actually approached me with what I do now.
Okay. And
that's when I thought, okay, let's take the chance and try this.
Okay. So, but you worked, didn't you, as well? You had a job.
I did.
So when did that come in? Did that come in after university? Were you working at this time when you were doing researching?
Yeah, I was.
So you had a full-time job?
Yeah.
So what was that?
So when I came out of uni, I worked in a few different things, so a little bit of recruitment, business development, and then I stumbled into medical sales around 23. So, you know, I was enjoying it at the time. I thought, wow, nice company car, good money.
Yes.
Right. You know, I think they flew me out to Italy in my first week. So I thought, wow, this is really good. And then it's the same thing. I think in the back of my mind, after a few years, that it starts to kick in that, you know, I am just trading my time for money. And, you know, some days it was really long hours. Yeah. You know, so I was kind of entertaining doctors and clients in the evening, and especially my last role, I had such a large territory. So I was driving up and down the UK. So I think I had a patch that was looking after Northwest. So every day, from like Wolverhampton, they expected me to drive to like Manchester, Liverpool, all various places, and it was good. But I said to myself, is this really what I want to be doing long term? Especially at that age, I was 26 when I started to think I really need something different. Because, you know, when I want to settle down, have a family, have children, is this really going to be viable in the long run? And that's when I thought, okay, definitely not. So that's why I've always been thinking, what else can I do?
But Nina, that would be a dream job for some people, wouldn't it? Yeah, you're on good money, a company car. So, you know, you can use it personally at the weekends. Yeah. And that would have been enough, wouldn't it? And then, obviously, from a family point of view, because we always take what our parents say or our siblings say into account. Yeah. So, what were your parents saying, or did you actually talk to anybody when you're thinking, I'm going to quit this? Because it's medical sales, right? Yeah. It's a great job, and you get to travel around, and you're not sitting in an office all day. Yeah. But it clearly wasn't enough for you, and we'll come to that. But what was your family like at this stage?
To be honest, they were very proud. Okay. And they were very happy. Okay, my daughter's in a good job, and they were very much play it safe, you know. So, like, this is good. Stick to what you know, kind of thing. And I just knew for me that I could achieve more.
So you go home and say, Dad, I'm leaving. I'm going to be self-employed. I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Right? I'm going to be a millionaire next week in network marketing. Yeah. What did he say?
He was just clueless. I think there's no one in the family, well, especially, you know, my dad and my mom, they've come from working backgrounds as well, so, you know, I've always worked. They've not had that entrepreneurial spirit, so they were like, well, where has this come from with you? But I think your power of association is very important. I remember my mentor saying to me, if there is something that you really desire, right, follow someone who has the success that you desire, and follow that path. Yes. So the people that you listen to around you is very, very important. Yeah, yeah. So as much as I really respect my parents and I love them dearly for everything that they've done for me, they put food on my table, and I've seen, difficult times, but they've always, pulled through and done very well. I knew that if I wanted to better my life as well in the near future, that I had to take advice from someone who, had the results that I wanted to.
Yeah.
So the type of income streams that I wanted, I said, okay, fine. That's I'm going to have that kind of narrow mind thinking and think I'm just going to follow people who have what I want.
It's focus, isn't it?
That's it.
Right. So, and that's quite a difficult thing because, especially in our community, we respect our elders, especially our parents.
Yeah.
So, they're offering one set of advice, and your heart and your mind is tugging you towards something else, right?
Yeah.
So now, how do you differentiate those things? Because I get a lot of clients that will say, Kam, my mum is everything to me.
Yeah.
Or my dad, or whoever it is, they've got a significant person in their life who they're always looking to please.
Yeah.
So my theory on that is, look, if it's your mum, for instance, right, we all love our mums.
Of course, yeah.
Mum, I do love you. Right?
I love you too, Mum.
The thing is that, the love and that relationship, I think you ought to separate those, which I can see that you clearly did.
Yeah.
So then there's the person who may not be the best educated person in the world, who may not have any experience of any idea what you're actually proposing to do.
Yeah.
So therefore, there's no qualification there to give you any advice, is there?
Yeah.
Right? But that doesn't mean you love them any less.
No, of course not.
So I think you need to separate them,
Both.
the relationship from the person.
Yeah.
And if the person isn't qualified, doesn't know what they're talking about, has never been an entrepreneur, and again, hasn't enjoyed the sort of income that you want to enjoy or the lifestyle, then they're not the person for advice, are they?
Yeah. I mean, the way I see it is everything that I do is for my family, first and foremost.
Of course.
So I want to give them a better life. I want to give my sisters a better life, my future family a better life. So it's very hard sometimes to kind of talk to people who don't have the same viewpoint, and that's okay. I remember an individual telling me that if they don't see that, just because they don't see what your vision, it's fine, it's not for them to see. But I think the best way someone described it to me was, if your car's broken down, you're not going to go to a doctor and give me advice on how to fix my car. You're going to take it to a mechanic. If you have an electrician, if you need an electrician, you're not going to ask, a dentist, for example.
That's right.
So I'm going to go to the individuals who are in that particular field and say, how did you do it? Show me A to Z. So find a mentor that's going to coach me and train me to do that. So I think that's very, very important. So who you listen to is very, very important.
Absolutely.
And
Power of five, right?
That's it, yeah.
Okay. So, mum and dad, if your child wants to do something and you don't understand it, it's not wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I've got to be very fortunate in the fact that my parents have always been very supportive too.
Yeah.
Even though they've never sometimes understood it at the start, in the beginning, they've always been like, okay, fine, just go do it.
Yeah, I think most parents understand, don't they?
Yeah.
That there are things that they don't understand. And, the other thing, of course, is that, as a parent myself, there's nothing that I want more than for my children to be happy.
Of course, yeah.
And I think that's it. But I think that the other thing is that, you've got to put your case across as well. You've got to realise that they don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So do it in a consultative manner. And not in an argumentative manner, and you can win them over.
Yeah.
The other thing is that sometimes what happens is when people don't understand something, you're obviously living at home, you're with your parents, you're with your sisters. If you don't have their support, you can get crushed by that and not follow your dreams.
Yeah.
But as we'll see, those things turn around. Those number one is they're concerned for you.
Of course, yeah.
Because they want you to be happy. And they don't want to see any stress for you.
Yeah.
Right? So they run to safety all the time, to what they know. And so, but what happens is that eventually you turn things around, don't you? They see your success. So tell me what your parents and your sisters think now, because your sisters are in your business, aren't they?
They are, yes.
Yeah.
So they didn't join straight away. My mom probably, she didn't understand it. But I remember one year, I think it was back in 2018, a cousin in Canada was getting married, and I thought, wow, this is the perfect opportunity to go to New York. And that's always been a dream of mine, to with my sisters and my mom, to go out there and just kind of shop till you drop kind of thing. I've always loved that idea. So it was on my vision board. I believe in having goals and dreams, and I said, all right, I'm going to tick that one off now. So I remember I did very well 1 year, and I used that bit of income that I had, well, you know, quite a good amount. Then I just bought tickets, flights and hotels, all sorts, and all the excursions, and I just treated them to New York. And so when we were out there, my sisters were like, wow, can she actually like afford to do this? Like, how is she doing it? Yeah, because they were like, you've got no job, right? You do this business. Are you making all this through the business? I was like, yeah. And that's when I think the penny dropped with my sisters and my mom. And she was like, can you afford this? Are we okay? And I was like, Mom, enjoy it, you know? And that's when they realized, okay, this obviously is working. But before that, it was like, oh, I don't know what she's doing, you know? But I think that it changed from there with my family too.
Nina, what did that feel like, being able to do that? Because you're relatively young now.
Yeah.
But a few years ago, you know, you're in your mid-20s, late 20s.
Yeah.
And you do this for your family, you take them out there.
Yeah.
What did that make you feel like?
I think that was the best feeling. That made me realise why I'm doing this, again, the importance of it. And when you have a goals list or a dreams list, and you have your vision board, and you're able to finally start ticking off, you know, things that you want and you desire, whether it's, you know, travel destinations and cars and just anything in your life, that's when you start to think, okay, you know, it was all worth it. All the times that, you know, you failed and you got back up, you know, try again. And I always believe in this phrase that you fail forward.
Yes.
Right? And if you don't succeed, try and try again. So, you know, all the ups and the downs and the challenges that come with everything, actually now that we can start to see the fruits of your labour, it's worth it.
Yes.
And it was such an amazing experience. I mean, I can't wait to just do it more and more.
Of course.
And and not just for myself, but for others as well in my organisation who I'm helping and mentoring as well. Because I know that it's worked for me. Again, it's given me that another level of belief that I want it for them too.
Yes.
So it's, you know, that's how I realised that it's not just about impacting myself and my family. There are many more people that we can impact with this too.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you've got this dream business, right? You get to travel, not only nationally but internationally.
Yeah.
And you're still relatively young. So tell me about this business that you're in. So we know that it's network marketing.
Yeah.
Right? I hope we've slain that particular dragon into what's wrong with it, because a lot of people have very preconceived ideas, don't they? You know, they are almost looking for excuses and reasons to say no.
Okay, yeah.
When we see opportunity. Yeah. And that is a sad part for me, because I'm a born through and through entrepreneur. You know, I think business rather than blood runs through my veins, right? As you're getting to know.
Yeah.
So tell me now, you know, what does a business do? Because we're in education, aren't we? And I'm a lifelong learner, and we're Sikhs. So, you know, we are eternal students, aren't we?
That's it, yeah.
So what does a business educate people about, and how do they apply that, and how do they get involved?
Yeah, so we have various different sections. So it's mainly within the financial markets.
Okay.
So 3 different areas, which is forex trading, we have crypto trading, and also binary trading. Okay. And then not only that, we also teach something called drop shipping or e-commerce.
Okay.
So teaching people how to, first of all, create their own store and you know, find manufacturers through like AliExpress or something, and be able to you know, make a sale through that.
Okay, so let's take the first one. So explain for those of us that don't know what FX trading is. What is FX?
So FX stands for foreign exchange, and it's simply just currency trading.
Yes.
Okay, so every day you have the pound, dollar, euro, yen. It's always fluctuating. Okay. So in essence, what we're doing is comparing one economy versus another. So for example, I can compare the pound versus the dollar, the euro versus the yen. And the good thing about trading is it's very different from investing.
Yes.
It's what some people don't understand very clearly. But usually when you're investing in something, so if I'm investing in stock or I'm investing in the property market, you buy low and you sell high.
Yes.
Right? But in trading, it works as such where you can buy or sell and still profit. So for example, if I think the pound is going to be stronger than the dollar, I'm going to enter a buy position. If I think the pound is going to be weaker than the dollar, okay, based on various news and things that comes out, I can sell in the market, and I can still profit in the market too.
Yes, yes. So when we go on holiday,
Yeah.
and we exchange currency,
Yeah.
that is foreign exchange.
Foreign exchange.
That is that. So behind that little kiosk that we go to sometimes is a huge business, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is it worth on a daily basis?
Over $5.3 trillion a day industry. So just like when you go on holiday, you have to manually exchange your time for money. Exchange your money, right? For whichever currency. Like, so say you want to go to Spain, you can exchange it for euro.
Yes.
But when you go to the post office or the bank, wherever you're converting your money, it will have a buy rate and a sell rate.
That's right.
Okay, and what the banks and governments and hedge funds, pensions, they've been doing this for years. Buying and selling and actually profiting from it.
Yes.
So that's usually you could say the big boys in the industry. It's the banks, governments, hedge funds that actually trade within the foreign exchange market.
Okay, so you actually train people to be able to do that.
That's it, yeah. So even retail traders like ourselves,
yes,
we can give people the education to actually learn how to do that. Yeah. Now, I've not come from a finance background at all.
Yeah.
And I think I was a bit skeptical, like, am I actually going to be learning how to do this? Will I get my head around it? And there are academies out there, various different platforms that will teach you. Through the academy that I learned, it was very simple, straightforward. So even if I had a full-time job, very demanding job, I could still manage it very effectively around my time.
Yes.
Until I got to a stage where I was able to leave. So I didn't leave straight away. I said to myself, I've still got bills to pay. So I got myself to a position where I was earning, very similar income before I then left.
Didn't take you long though, did it?
Took me 5 months. Yeah.
Okay, so 5 months to equal a fairly decent salary at the time, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So that's FX, or foreign exchange. So cryptocurrency, Bitcoin once again making headlines, hitting record highs, and and you teach people how to trade those, don't you?
Yeah. So actually, in fact, before I even got into the the forex market, I was already a big believer in cryptocurrency. I was doing a lot of research around it. So the way it works is it's very similar to, you could say, gold. It's based on supply and demand.
Yes.
Compared to our fiat currency that we have today, and that's really the real reason why I got into FX, because I saw people making incredible amounts of money trading it. So all I was doing was just buying the coins.
God, I'm so sorry. Sorry, guys.
So what I was actually doing was just buying and holding it. I didn't know how to sell it and read the charts. I had no idea when to get in and when to get out. So I thought, right, I need to, that gave me the idea that I need to actually look at this and learn about it. So when a friend of mine actually said, Nina, you should try out FX and learn how to trade charts, that's when I thought, okay, yes. So we have great educators that, for example, give us trade ideas, and they show us what the market's looking like, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple. Yeah. So we know when to get in and out of the market.
Okay. So we're going to touch on binary.
Binary, so that is, we call it HFX.
Yes.
So it's very similar to Forex, but there's, it's like a time period. Yes. So you're entering trades for 3 minutes at a time. Yeah,
it's also known as high frequency trading.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what
high frequency.
That's it.
Yeah. So the way that works is, I find that especially people who are very busy, let's say, again, you're in a high demanding job, or mothers especially, they prefer HFX, as it's called, high frequency. Why? Because you are literally entering 3 minute trades, and it doesn't matter if the market moves just a small amount or a large amount, you get a certain percentage profit at the end of it. Okay, so if you said to yourself, okay, I can dedicate half an hour a day, right, in the morning or in the evening, right, I'm just going to sit here and enter my 2-3 trades and make between my 2% and my 5% on a daily basis, and compound it, etc. You could. So a friend of mine, actually, she has 2 young children. I know that she gives one child to her husband, one child to her mother-in-law, and then she goes, right, leave me alone for half an hour. She just trades for half an hour, and then that's it. She goes back to her normal duties after.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So last but not least, e-commerce has been huge, and those companies, Amazon being the most famous of those, stock has rocketed during COVID. Yeah. Because you got home delivery, you don't have to go out anywhere, stuff comes to you. But there's a huge business behind it. So Amazon itself is like an umbrella organization for many thousands of merchants, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
Right, so like eBay, Amazon has independent companies on there that you are buying from. You're not actually buying from Amazon, is that right?
No, exactly, yeah. You're basically, it's like a middleman.
Yes.
You could say, yeah.
Yeah, so they provide the umbrella for you to be able to sell your goods.
Yeah.
So tell me what drop shipping is.
Okay, so for example, I'll explain it in this term that, sometimes when you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you'll see a sponsored ad.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember at the time, like during our first lockdown, I had a lot of ads popping up, especially like gym products.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm always, I see something, I'm just like clicking, oh, that looks good, let me buy that. So I think I bought like some resistant bands and stuff. So again, the way it works is you get an ad that pops up. Okay, then you click on that and it will take you to a website. And then from the website, you pay for it, you purchase it, and then usually a lot of these products have been shipped directly from like China or somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, so we teach you how to be the other person who's actually promoting it and selling it, and all you're simply doing is finding a product like from AliExpress or Alibaba. You create your website, usually through Spotify, etc. So it gives you various templates. So all you're simply doing is putting an ad out there. And whenever someone clicks on your ad, okay, you can even go back to sleep or go back to whatever you're doing. Whenever someone clicks on your ad and makes a purchase, I haven't got a warehouse full of products.
No.
I'm not packaging anything or anything like that, okay? In fact, what happens is that order is then sent straight to the manufacturer, and he literally drop ships it straight to the consumer's door.
Hence the term drop shipping.
Drop shipping,
right? Yes.
That's it.
Okay.
So I'll give an example. Let's say you have someone's been searching for kitchen utensils. Okay, it's all AI technology and cookies, so they can tell what people want based on your cookie search.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, so
they follow you around the internet, don't they?
That's it.
Yeah.
So if I put out there that I've got this potato peeler or something, and my manufacturer is selling it for 10p, but I put it online for £1. You could have someone in the US or down in Australia or in London or Kenya or anywhere in the world, and they will be making those purchases. So you don't have to worry about that. It literally gets sent straight out from the manufacturer, and that's how it works. And you make your cut in between.
Okay. So that traditionally, to somebody sitting on their sofa watching today, would be a very large investment type business in the past.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it.
So you would then only pay for the goods that you actually sell. So you've sold the goods, the money's on its way to you, and then the manufacturer ships those goods, and then you get paid, and you pay the manufacturer, right?
That's usually the old way. You have to buy the goods first.
Yes.
It doesn't work like that anymore.
No, that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
So all of those systems, and for anybody that's interested, you can teach people to do that, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So all of those systems, there's not a lot of money involved, because traditionally, I'm in property and finance.
Yeah.
So, you literally need hundreds of thousands of pounds, certainly tens of thousands of pounds these days to get into property. So all of that nonsense about no money down, don't believe it.
Yeah.
Right? There's always money involved.
Exactly.
But we're talking quite small sums of money, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because we were talking before the show that for about £1,000 you could get yourself educated and start trading in one of these fields.
Yeah, exactly. So gone are the days where people are spending thousands up front, and the way I look at it is, it's like, as much as I still say to people, go get educated,
yes.
but it is £9 grand a year.
Yes.
Right? Even, for example, stuff like, how can I put it, like courses. Some people, have courses and they spend 2,000-3,000 up front. What I realise is you don't need to do that. Right, you don't need to have to spend thousands up front, even for a couple of hundred. Because of the way the online industry works, e-commerce, you can get access to things that are a lot more affordable, and at least give it a try. That's what I say to people. You're not breaking the bank.
Yes.
People spend, £1,000 these days on mobile phones and laptops and all sorts, or expensive trainers and stuff.
Oh, come on. You've got to have that £1,100 iPhone, haven't you?
That's it.
And that £250 Gucci belt, even if you're overdrawn, right?
Yeah, like handbags today, like Chanel handbags and all sorts. People want the latest things. But what I say to them is, actually, if you invest your time into yourself, into your personal development, your education, you're going to get a lot more out, later in life. Look,
poor money mindset, big favourite subject of mine, right? So, you're either buying liabilities that are sucking the money out of you.
Exactly.
The other thing, of course, is that when you're employed, you're paying that out of net income.
Yeah.
So tax has already been removed, national insurance has already been removed, so you get what's left.
Yeah.
And then you're spending it on goods that you don't necessarily need.
Yeah.
And of course, government still collects 20% VAT as well.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
so
it.
ridiculous situation.
Yeah.
So, but if you have a business and you buy those goods for business, you actually get the VAT back.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's win-win, isn't it?
Yeah.
But look, you know, like we said, so a small amount of money will get people into business these days. And that really is the point of, you know, one of the motivators for bringing Nina on board today was, number one, is to demonstrate to you guys that, you know, at a young age, you can be thinking about becoming entrepreneurs. And for parents, if your children don't want to follow the traditional route down to university and follow those traditional careers, because they're disappearing very, very fast.
Yeah.
Right? So I was reading something that in 15 years' time, everything will be automated, human beings will be surplus to requirements, and we will be paid a universal wage.
Wow, yeah.
Right? So when you read about that in about 10 years' time, you can say, Kam Johal told you first about universal wage, right? That's you sitting at home doing nothing, and the government paying you because they don't need us to do the normal work. But of course, governments will always need people to do some work, right? So that depends on how qualified you are and what you do.
Yeah.
But things like foreign exchange markets, they're not designed for us mere mortals. They were designed for institutions.
Yes.
But of course, we now utilise the systems to actually do the same things that, you know, banks and financial institutions are doing.
Yeah.
Same as cryptocurrency and you know, and drop shipping has meant that the average person can, sitting from their home, be in an international import-export business, which is what they used to be.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? You'd have to ship those goods in, you'd have to go and source them.
Yeah.
So you'd have to then bring them in, house them in a warehouse, pay all the duties at the ports.
Yeah.
And then finally, you know, advertise to sell them.
Yeah.
But, you know, the world just doesn't work like that anymore.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so tell me something, you know, go back, you know, to you're 18, would you take that degree again? Would you go to university again?
I think it taught me a lot still,
of course.
You know, because I lived out, so, you know, just even little things like how to be independent and kind of fend for yourself. So I still value all of that. Mm-hmm. And the degree that I did, I still love the course.
Yeah.
I think what I would do is, if someone wants to go to university, I'm all for it. And if they, on the back of that, if they, let's say, start their own business or do something creative, as long as you love what you do, that's what I always say to people. You know, so if you want to become a doctor and that's what your heart desires, or you want to become a lawyer, then go do it. Okay. But this approach that you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, you know, I don't think it's really worth it in that sense. So if I have children tomorrow and they say, okay, Mom, actually I don't want to go down that route, I'd rather go down this route, you know, I would, you know, 100% agree with them and say, okay, go do it then, you know. But definitely try out multiple different things to find what works for you. But yeah, create multiple streams of income. That's really my approach now. You know, find ways that money works for you.
Yes.
Don't just rely on one stream of income, because that's what most of society teaches. But if you look at the level of wealth in the world today, right, and this is something that they talk about in Rich Dad Poor Dad, that 95% of people today who are, let's say, trading their time for money, whether you're an employee or, let's say, a small business, that only accounts for 5% of today's wealth, compared to the elite, right, who own 95% of today's wealth. So my way of thinking was, okay, well, how on earth are they able to do that? And you look at the average millionaire today, I think they create 7 to 8 different income streams.
That's right, yes.
Yeah. So, you know, I'd like to kind of steer them in that direction, say, you know, have your mindset in this direction instead. So, yeah. And I think because I went to that university, I actually bumped into those individuals. I bumped into the right people, and from there, that's where my journey really started. So for that reason, I probably wouldn't change it, because I wouldn't have met those incredible people that I did.
Yeah. And I think, you know, we, again, coming back to the UK, I don't think we're as entrepreneurial as some countries.
Yeah.
So something like this, you know, we now call it a side hustle.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a student, there are hours to spare, so you can start these things part-time, can't you? You know, even whilst you're at university.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I think an education, and you know, especially our community, it's like, go and get educated, then you can go and do what you like. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because going, as you said, university life teaches you so many life skills. Yeah. Right, especially if you go away from home.
Yeah.
And the discipline of getting a degree in whatever subject it is that you like, that teaches you certain skills that you can utilize.
Yeah.
And of course for you, you met these entrepreneurial individuals at university.
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
So
had you not have gone, then it could be a completely different path, couldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I believe that everything happens for the right reason.
Yes.
You meet the right people at the right time, everything. I do believe in God. I'm a tremendous believer in God. So I think that He always puts certain people in your path for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And, I believe again that you can either feed the fear or you can feed the faith. And what I have found in very recent times is a lot of people will lead with fear.
Mm-hmm.
What if this doesn't happen, and what if that, and what if this? And I would say to myself, well, why are you thinking like that? What if it does? Then what?
Yes.
What if actually you just go and achieve everything that you've ever desired? Right? So, it's trying to teach people to not be fearful in themselves. Because really I could show them 100, let's say different ways of this person's done this person's done that. But you've got to have that belief within yourself to say, yes, I can do this.
Yes.
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to have a game plan. I'm going to follow someone who has done it. And, whether it takes me 2, 3, 4, 5 years or whatever, I'm going to put my vision or my path in this place and just work hard towards it. And I think that's where people, sometimes if they go through 1 or 2 hurdles and they fail and they fall, they just give up so easily.
Yeah, I think, you only fail if you quit, right?
Exactly.
So the problem with that is we're not building resilience in our children.
Yeah.
There's certainly a lot more mollycoddling going on today than there was when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I think all of those things that you experience in very, very early on in life are the things that then come to affect your decision making.
Yeah.
So, I think it's thousands of times that the average 17-year-old, 18-year-old has been told no.
Yeah.
Mostly by your mum and dad, right? So when we're constantly fed with "don't do this," no, and those words, resonate and they stick inside your subconscious, don't they?
That's it.
And I think those are the reasons why people do that.
Yeah.
The other thing is there's a bigger fear of success.
Yeah, that's also a fear.
Yeah, than there is a failure, because most people are failing.
Yeah.
Most people are broke.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They just don't realise it. They don't tell you because we have credit, we have a welfare state, etc.
Yeah.
And from the outside we look okay, right?
That's it. Most people just look okay today.
Yeah.
And you're right. So what I really try and establish is, what do they really want? And if you look at it today, most people either want more time or more money.
Mm-hmm.
More time, more money, more freedom.
Yes.
Okay. So you say, well, what are you doing today that is going to help you to achieve that?
Yes. It's going to make it different tomorrow, right?
That's it.
Yes.
But then Albert Einstein also says, doing the same thing every day, expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity.
That's right.
So instead of just doing the same thing and complaining about it and wishing for something to change, why don't you actively go out there and at least try? And it's okay to fail.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that you are a failure.
Yes.
Like you look at many entrepreneurs, and even just I look at sportsmen and women and all sorts of different categories of people, and they have failed multiple times, but they got to back up every time, and it's about learning from it.
Yeah. Failure doesn't have to be fatal, right?
No, exactly. Yeah.
I can tell you that I've had many more businesses and business activities that have gone wrong than have gone right.
Yeah.
But if you look at the stats, Michael Jordan talks about he's missed every shot that he didn't take.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
So this could be the one.
Yeah.
And the other thing, of course, is that as a businessman, I can tell you the thing that I do is remove risk.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of my friends and relatives will say that I take far more risk than they would.
Yeah.
But I think there's a risk in not doing something.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, just as much as there is a risk in doing something.
Yeah.
So inaction has its own risks, which means that you will definitely not
going anywhere.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's not even an opportunity to actually improve things in your life. So there's a whole viewpoint, and in my own coaching, a lot of my time is spent on mindset. Which I think is what you've really alluded to today, is that if you just open your mind and look at the opportunities that are out there, whether it's this one, there's thousands of things to do. The thing is, for me, I can tell you that it's far quicker to make £1 million today than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And 10 years ago, it was quicker to make £1 million than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Because we've got everything at our, technology that's at our hands. Those e-commerce stores, you could probably have one up and running in a couple of hours, couldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, get the right training, plug into the right people, follow people who've done it already, so you're learning from successful individuals anyway.
Yes.
Right, the right mentors. You've got everything there for you. I mean, all the information is out there. It's just up to the individual to just say, right, okay, I'm going to commit to this, and don't expect quick results, straight overnight. Like I say to people that there's no such thing as, join today, tomorrow you're a millionaire, but if you give it...
Sure?
No, then I'm like, straight away, no.
Get rich slowly.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Get rich slowly.
Get educated and learn it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what title or rank. Like, even if I wanted to be a doctor tomorrow, I'm not going to get there by tomorrow. I'm going to study. You got to go to med school for 5 years, do a lot of training, and then you have the right training, the right skills, then to become the doctor. If you had a doctor that said, I've been to med school for a week and now I'm going to perform heart surgery on you,
would you volunteer?
You wouldn't be in that situation. Like, oh no, thank you.
No. I went to a weekend training course.
Okay.
and I'm qualified.
And now I'm ready.
Yeah. I think the thing is that education removes risk, right?
Yeah. That's
and I think that's the key, is get yourself educated on whatever it is that you're interested in.
Yeah.
And as you said, if you're going to be a doctor, then it's 5 years at university, and then you specialise. You never actually stop learning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, and that's the thing. And so, as soon as you start thinking about something that you do, get equipped to do it.
Yeah.
Right, and what you're saying is, here's a platform that you can learn about these 4 things.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing is that we totally forgot is that, because obviously we have a lot of Punjabi speaking listeners.
Okay.
Right. So the platform also educates, not quite in Punjabi, but it educates in Hindi?
It does, yes. So we have Hindi. We're actually in 13 different languages.
Okay.
So there is a platform that does teach in Hindi. So if they wanted to learn, they didn't need to let that barrier hold them back.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So time waits for no man. We're almost at the end of the show. Okay. So tell me, in as few words as you can, what's the future hold for you? What are your plans? What do you want to do? I know you're looking to get married.
I am, yes, this year.
Okay.
So hopefully, with fingers crossed with COVID, we can have all the guests there, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah. But in terms of the future for myself, I think success is always a moving target. Mm-hmm. So once you hit a goal, always develop and grow as much as you can. And for me, it's a case where I want to try and impact many more people.
Yeah.
So yes, UK is great, but I see myself going out internationally a lot more too, and impacting more people around the world globally.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll keep up with your story. Come back and share that again sometime.
I will do. Thank you for having me.
So guys, different kind of entrepreneur, very modern. We've had all sorts of people doing very traditional businesses, doing very different types of businesses. We've had DJs, we've had cake makers. So Nina today has shown us another way to become an entrepreneur and become very, very successful relatively quickly. But look, it all comes with hard work. You've got to put that in. That's a given in any success story. And it's sometimes entrepreneurs don't talk too much about it because they love what they do. People are constantly talking to me about the number of hours that I put in, but it never feels like I work an hour a day. So find something that you're truly passionate about, that you absolutely love and you're going to enjoy. Get yourself educated in the right way. Start with reading books, go to platforms like Nina's, get in touch with KTV. If you're interested in knowing anything further, I can help. I can put you on to Nina, so that's not an issue for us if you're interested in that. But go out there and do something, because uncertainty is the only certainty there is at this moment in time. We're coming out of COVID. The economy looks like it's going to boom, but somebody's got to pay this 400 billion, I believe, is what we're spending so far on combating this pandemic. So somewhere around, taxes will be raised, the unemployment rates are going up. So think about what you're doing. If you're prepared, then you will win. And that's the only advice I've got for you. So that's all we have for you on the show today. And so I will see you next Thursday at 8 a.m. for the breakfast show. And then back here again with another amazing and incredible guest. And until such time, so have a great week. Thank you so much for watching and take care.